Life is always moving, isn't it? It's just this constant series of beginnings and endings. But what if there's a way to not just survive all that chaos, but to actually thrive in it? Well, today, we're going to dive into a really simple but honestly profound philosophy for embracing the one thing you can always count on: change. So let's just start with a quick question. I want you to think about it for a second. In this world that is just defined by constant motion and flux, what is the one thing, the only thing that is truly permanent? What is it that never ever changes? And here's the wild paradox, right? The only constant, the only thing that's guaranteed in life is change itself. It's kind of funny when you think about it. It's this fundamental truth that's woven into the very fabric of existence, from the cells regenerating in your own body to the stars burning out in the cosmos. And yet, what's our first instinct when things start to shift? For most of us, it's to fight it. We want things to stay the same. We crave that stability and control. So we build these huge metaphorical dams, trying to stop the river of life in its tracks. But here's the thing about a river. It doesn't just stop. The pressure just builds and builds until eventually it bursts right through. So if fighting the river is a losing game, what's the alternative? Well, the answer is actually in the river itself. So let's take a look at the nature of water, because it can be an incredible guide for how to really live. First, just think about its adaptability. You pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Pour it into a teapot, and boom, it becomes the teapot. Water doesn't waste energy fighting its container. It just flows right into it. It masterfully adapts to whatever circumstance you put it in. No resistance, no fight. Then you've got its persistence. A single drop of water, right? It seems like nothing, totally insignificant. But get a steady drip going over time, and that water can wear away the hardest stone you can find. It's such a powerful reminder that these huge, monumental changes, they don't always need some huge, monumental force. Sometimes all it takes is your quiet, gentle, unwavering consistency. And this brings us to its incredible, unique kind of power. We so often mistake being rigid for being strong, but water shows us a completely different truth. It can be gentle enough to wash your hands, right? But it can also gather into a force so powerful it can literally reshape entire landscapes. Its true strength is actually in its ability to yield, to flow and adapt until it becomes an absolutely unstoppable force. Okay, so we get it. The properties of water are pretty amazing. But the real question is, how do we actually apply this wisdom to our own lives? How do you stop being that rigid rock getting battered by the waves and start becoming the fluid water? Really, you're faced with two paths. There's the rigid path. That's where you resist change, you fight it. But that path is brittle, and just like a dry branch in a windstorm, it eventually snaps under all that pressure. But then there's the fluid path. This path is adaptable. It yields. It flows around obstacles. It doesn't just survive the storm. It overcomes. So how do you actually cultivate this fluidity? It really starts with 3 simple steps. First, accept the flow. Just acknowledge that the river of life is moving, whether you want it to or not. Fighting it is pointless. Second, find the path of least resistance. Now, this is not about giving up. It's about being smart, about strategic movement. Instead of just banging your head against a wall, you look for the open door. And finally, number 3, apply gentle, consistent pressure. Remember that drip of water on the stone? Small, steady actions are what create truly transformative change. When you start to embrace these principles, you unlock the real power of being fluid. And it's so much more than just a technique. It's a fundamental shift in how you meet the world. It turns challenges from things that break you into opportunities for your own growth. It all comes back to that simple yet incredibly profound mantra: be like water. And hopefully now, those 3 words carry a much deeper meaning for you. They're a call to be adaptable, they're a commitment to be persistent, and they're an understanding of the incredible power you can find in yielding. And let's be absolutely clear about something. This is not about being passive. It's not about letting life just happen to you. It's actually the exact opposite. It's about becoming so in tune with the currents of change that you can actually harness their energy. You can use that flow to carve your own path, to shape your own landscape. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What's the biggest challenge in your life right now? That thing that feels like a huge, immovable rock sitting in your way. Now ask yourself this: what would happen if you stopped trying to smash it with a hammer and instead you chose to become like water?